Hey, how's it going? I got another knife review. Again, I'm just remaking this video because of some of the sound issues that I've had with some of my recordings. So hopefully this will work out alright when I transfer it over. Anyway, so this is my review of the Zero Tolerance 0301. This is a beast of a knife. This is the first zero tolerance that I ever handled in a knife store, and when I was first collecting, the biggest knife I had was a Spyderco Sage. So obviously when I would handle this knife, I thought it was just too huge in the hand, too clunky and everything like that. But now that I've collected several larger knives like the Strider or my Peter R, even some Emersons that I've had, this knife has grown on me. I got it for a great price as well. So this is a really great heavy duty folder. The Zero Tolerance 300, as most of you guys might know, is a collaboration between Mick Strider and Ken Onion. And so you get I have them next to a Mick Strider knife, the Strider SMF, this is the CC version, and then a Ken Onion Kershaw Leek. I reviewed this previously, and this is a knife that I hate. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's it's just not a knife that I'd really care to carry all that much. It's got the Speed Safe on here that flicks out really quick, and you look at Ken Onion's design. It's got a lot of these kind of funky curves. Wharncliffe blade with a this kind of like bulb kind of curve, and I don't know, I'm just really not attracted to Ken Onion style. And you can see some of that styling in the Zero Tolerance, but what you also get is Strider's, Mick Strider's influence into this knife as well to make it into this beefy, hard use folder. Obviously with the titanium frame lock and the thick 5mm blade stock of S30V here, really thick clip and all that kind of stuff with all this hard jimping. This knife has this little bit of jimping right here. It's Ken Onion Kershaw, and it's basically does not do anything in terms of gripping your finger in place. Kind of this little twingy like pocket clip and all that kind of stuff. But you throw the curves and the ergonomics of a Ken Onion knife with this hard use mentality of the Strider, and you couple that together in this 300 series, the 301 right here. This is an awesome, I don't know, I think it's an awesome knife. The curves is actually very ergonomic, especially if you were to have bigger hands. I have kind of moderate sized hands and all that kind of stuff, but the jimping is really hard cut. Really just holds your thumb in position. Your reverse grip, you got jimping on the back side right here. That really holds your thumb in as well for any kind of reverse action or whatever. It's got the Speed Safe technology as well, and you can flip out that blade relatively nicely. It depends on how tight you put your pivot and all that kind of stuff, and it's loosened up since I've gotten it. And the blade, kind of kicks out. You give it a good flick with your finger on the flipper, and it, flips out with authority, but not quite as fast as the Leek or whatnot. This blade is 3 3/4 inches long. S30V. It's got the nice tiger striping, which is also reminiscent of Strider's influence. The titanium frame lock with the Hinder lock bar stabilizer right there. Your normal ZT clip, which I think is a great clip actually. I just want to say I wish the 0560 that's coming out, the Hinder flipper, I wish it used a clip like this rather than the deep carry clip. But who knows? When I get that one finally, I think I'm gonna love it either way. So it's got this nice bolt here. I was actually just watching Nothing Fancy's SHOT Show 2012 Zero Tolerance booth visit, and the dude was talking about the zero tolerance things, which I didn't know at the time. So he said that this is a solid pivot that goes all the way through, and then they just secure it. It goes all the way through. There's no hollowed out pivot that screws into it. It's just this one large bolt here that's secured by the frame, the titanium frame, and then it goes through here, and then it's secured by this hex bolt right here. And you know, the cool thing about that, as he was mentioning it, is that it makes this really solid pivot, so that when you know, they made it with the intention of, you know, any kind of prying with this knife. You know, with a 4mm plus, you know, thickness on this blade stock here, and with this pivot being, you know, extremely strong, you know, it makes, not that I would suggest it, but you know, it makes it, I guess, a lot of the stress go to this pivot, and because it's a solid pivot, you know, it makes for a really strong knife. You know, overall at 8.2 ounces, you know, it's definitely a heavy knife, even compared to the Strider SMF. The SMF is actually a really light knife. You know, with the G10 and everything's kind of just milled out of here, and this frame lock. For the size of the blade and everything, this is actually a really light knife. But compared to, you know, these two zero tolerances right here, I think you know, this one weighs in around, actually I'm not sure, I think around 6 ounces or something like that, maybe upper 5 ounces. But this knife at 8.2 ounces is definitely a tank. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't like stick out of your pocket all that much. It fits pretty well within the pocket. It sits really nicely, and you know, it's not extremely you know, a burden to carry or anything like that. One thing that I didn't like at first when I thought about getting this knife was the recurve, and you know, I was showing you guys my Emerson 15, my CQC 15, you know, this recurve, and you know, because I got this knife used, I tried sharpening this knife on my Wicked Edge sharpener, and it worked perfectly. You know, so now I've got that polished edge, you know, on here, and one, it looks great, and two, it cuts great. So you know, the recurve for me now is not really an issue, although I still prefer like a plain edge, especially like the Sebenza. You know, I don't think there's an edge or, you know, a belly that I like more than on the Sebenza, at least not so far. Yeah, anyway, so that's a zero tolerance 0301 compared against all these knives. Yeah, the SMF is a little bit longer due to the handle. The blade also is a 4-inch blade, so if you line up the pivots here, it's pretty comparable in size to the Sebenza here. I'll just get the leak out of the way here. Here it is against the CQC, CQC 15 from Emerson as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this knife. It is a tank, and yeah, if you guys are looking for a hard use knife, this is definitely one to consider. Alright, so thanks guys, thanks for watching, thanks for all the subscriptions and all the comments that you guys have been making. It definitely helps me in terms of just knowing what you guys are looking for, and yeah, just being part of this knife community has been a great time for me. So I appreciate all you guys' comments and all your support. Alright, thanks guys, take care, bye.